Today we're going to be talking about Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. For a moment, let's just visualize that we're outside, looking around at the sky and the trees. Are you amazed at everything around you that God has created? Let's turn to Genesis chapter 1, the beginning. On this first page, God is trying to communicate with us where we came from and what's the reason for it. It's because he wants a relationship with us. It's Moses who wrote this, and Jesus quoted from the book of Genesis. Alright, so let's start. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Alright, so let's just go over what we just read. And the book of Genesis is a book of firsts. In verse 3, we heard God's first words recorded in the Bible. Let there be light. God's first approval of something as good. Now, in verse 5, we see God named something for the very first time. God named the light day and the darkness night. Naming things is a significant act in the book of Genesis, as well as in the rest of the Bible. Naming something in the ancient mindset is a claim to ownership. Having the right to name something means claiming sovereignty over that thing. Later, God would task Adam to name the animals as part of his human work in ruling and subduing the earth. And then we see that God means to remain Lord over night and day. He created them. He intended for day and night to exist. They are not an accidental consequence of the natural world. Another way to apply this point is that God is not merely creating and then allowing this creation to spin out of control. What he has created, he still maintains authority over. Finally, the verse ends with the blueprint used for the description of each of the 6 days of creation. There was evening and there was morning, the first day. From very early on, the people of Israel thought of a day as beginning in the evening, at sunset, and continuing until the sun set on the following day. May explain the wording in Genesis 1 of evening and morning. Some scholars suggest that these days have not been strict 24-hour days in the sense we think. There is nothing to dispute or support this claim. Also, there isn't anything which proves or disproves that they are 24-hour days. The God who is capable of speaking light into the world is certainly capable of creating as much as he would choose to in a 24-hour period of time, or using a longer process. The important details are those which God has actually given. He created light and called it good. And to summarize everything up, Genesis 1 is nothing less than a bare bones claim that God created the universe, setting all the debates on model and interpretations aside. The chapter undeniably insists on one thing: God means to be known as the creator of all things. Written in the original Hebrew language, according to a rigid, poetic structure, the chapter unfolds in a series of patterns and revelations. For those who believe these words, our response should be nothing less than to worship our Maker. I hope that this look into Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 through 5 has been helpful. I just want to say thanks for watching, and God bless. Have a blessed day, and always remember that the Lord loves you.